Yeah, so this is I know I didn't hit record right away, but whatever. Uh so this is I get I'm not seeing anything super official, but at the same time this is kind of official. I don't I hate I hate looking shit up where you don't get to actually go to like the Honda site or anything to look. Or Polaris or whatever. I know you're looking up some stuff, but
Hmm.
according to this there is no sorry. Honda announced that 2026 will be the final year of production for the Honda Talon. I haven't seen a bunch of stuff on it, so I don't know how true it is. But with it,
So,
they're doing a special edition 2026 Honda Talon with a factory Jackson Racing turbo and a 6-speed transmission. That's all I'm seeing right now.
okay, so
So
that
I don't
that
know if
being
it's I don't are they just gonna stop making the Honda Talon because they're coming out with something new? I don't know.
that's normally what happens with the that's normally what happens with the Japanese productions. Normally if they're stopping something, they have something else in the works. Something's coming to replace that.
Yeah,
Um, we've
and
we've
it
seen
may
it with
not.
we've seen it with Kawasaki. We've seen it with if you go back and look at like Suzuki with the four wheelers and stuff, like
Mhm.
they would stop one model and a new model would basically take its place. Honda's done it with now granted, you have the those of us that rode four wheelers from Honda, you had the Rancher, the Rubicon, the Rincon, which I always get the Rubicon and the Rincon. They stopped the Rincon and they still have the Rubicon,
So
correct?
it was a Rubicon Rincon. Rincon
But
was
then,
like a submodel. Yes,
but then
the Rin.
Rincon wasn't it by itself for a few years?
Yeah, but it was like a submodel. It was by
Yeah, so,
itself. It was a Rincon Rubicon. Like,
yeah, but shit, they're all based on the same chassis anyway. But it is a
but
different
that's what it
model.
was. Yeah,
Anyway, so but normally from the Japanese manufacturers, they typically stop a model and it's going to be replaced by something else. So I think that's what's happening with Kawasaki with the H2. There's not going to be any more KRX four-seaters anymore. It's going to be the H2 four-seater slash five-seater, whatever option you want. I'm assuming
well,
that's probably going to be the same thing with the two-seater. There might be a version,
yeah. I
but I
like I
think
said,
it's going to be the
I
uh
know.
updated body and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if
I know. Like normally when Honda does this stuff, they Honda doesn't like to. We'll take the Rubicon for instance. They don't like to change much over the
no,
years,
Honda's the last one to make changes.
right? So
They,
that's normally what they do is if they're gonna make changes and they're significant changes, they just end that production and start a new production.
and there a couple other.
So for everybody that's like, oh my God, the Honda Talon's not going to be around anymore. No, there's a bunch of people that own Talons. There's a lot of people that there's guys who race them. I mean, they had a lot of King of the Hammers. You know, there was a lot of machines in King of the Hammers Honda Talons, and if I remember right, was it this year or last year? It won the NA class.
I think it was this past year.
Uh, so like
I like
I
the Talon platform. I think it
I
has a
don't
lot of
see them.
potential.
Yeah, I don't see them. I don't know how to explain it without being wrong. I don't see
Well,
them
it's all
getting rid of the
speculation at this point anyway. So
yeah, because I'm not seeing like and it could be because I just haven't dove into it deep enough, but I'm not seeing anything like, oh my God, this is happening. It's just kind of like hearsay here, hearsay there, and then Honda has announced this, but where's the article where Honda announced it? And I can't find the article.
right.
So like it's one of those like, all right, it is are they just ending this production and the new production is gonna be a Honda Talon Turbo, or is it gonna be a Honda Talon, or are they just taking the name away and changing it to something else? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. it's hard to say with Honda because Honda does what Honda does.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, look what they did with they do it with their cars all the time.
yeah. So that here's my deal is like the like I was getting at, but the Japanese manufacturers they typically stop a model and then a new model gets ushered into its same place. So I'm kind of interested to see what Yamaha they announced they're discontinuing the YXZ. That was what a 9 or 10 year run.
Hmm.
With that model, they announced that model was going to cease production. Are they going to replace it with something? Nobody knows. I haven't heard anything. I haven't read anything. So,
I don't know.
um,
Like the the YXZ was kind of a niche machine.
that was geared towards racers and dudes. It's a cool machine. I know there was a few guys that were drag racing them. I think
Well, anybody who
the
watches Mud Madness,
the
that's what
the
AJ raced
the
at Extreme.
the transmission setup on it. I think the manual transmission and even the DCTs, like what the new Maverick R has and what the Honda Talon and the Pioneer run. I think there's a lot of potential with the DCT transmissions. I would be I'm really kind of surprised that that wasn't the route Kawasaki went with the H2 and the supercharger.
Uh yeah, I don't know.
Um,
So you know
I,
how much I love my Honda. I absolutely love my Honda. it's a fucking awesome machine. It's
I,
currently tore apart at Bruce's because he's repowder coating some stuff for me.
um, I,
And
I
but
just I think that transmission, the DCT transmission has a lot of potential. I'm interested to see how the Maverick R transmission holds up.
I
I
I
know
will
that. Go ahead.
I will say this, as much as I love my Talon and I love that transmission, I have had no issues out of it whatsoever. There is something to say about a belt. That is the weak point in most machines, and a belt's a simple replacement on the trail.
Yes,
You
and
know, my transmission goes out on the trail, I'm done.
right.
So like I, I enjoy it, I like it, I love it. It's a great machine. It's done everything that I've ever asked it to do. It's phenomenal.
It
And
holds water really well.
not a Honda boat, Honda sub. Uh, uh, but when it comes to these, especially now when everybody's pushing the horsepower, the belts, you know, the belt has been,
The weak link.
well, not just the weak link, but the best thing, because most of the time you're popping that belt before anything's catastrophic. Don't get me wrong, catastrophic failures still happen, especially when you're pushing big horsepower. But I know a lot of guys that I've talked to about, man, I'd like to see somebody build a Talon into a huge mud machine or into a drag machine. Now we've seen them racing. I mean, Hess races, stuff like that. But the biggest fear that everybody has brought up is, all right, is the motor might be capable of high horsepower, but is that transmission? How well
Yeah,
is that transmission going to hold up?
well, I don't know. Evidently, Can-Am has it figured out with the Maverick R. You know that what is that? That transmission's a 7 speed, correct?
Ah, your guess is as good as
I
mine.
I believe I believe it's a 7 speed. I could be wrong. It might just be a 6 speed, but I believe it's a 7 speed. 35-inch tires. What is it? 230 horsepower is what that
Yeah,
Maverick R makes.
well, yeah, but okay, but it was built that way. You know what I mean? Versus like the Talon at 112 horsepower. You start bumping that thing up between tunes and internals and stuff like that, and you get up to 140, 150, 160. How well is that transmission going to hold? Vice versa, you get somebody who goes, all right, now I'm really going to dive into this thing and let's see what this motor can really push and get it up above that 200 mark. You get it up above that 200 mark, are those clutches going to hold?
Right.
Especially sharing the same engine oil. because it's all one case.
Right, right.
So if you lose a transmission, say you blow your transmission, knock a hole in it for some reason, you're also ruining your motor.
Right.
So, like, that's been the biggest fear. I personally think that it could take the horsepower. I really can. Honda's always been known to build something that, I mean, prime example, look at the Honda Civic. Guys were throwing stupid horsepower numbers at Honda Civics.
Honda seems to overbuild a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm not
Overbuild and
taking,
underperform.
yeah, I'm not taking anything away from that.
But that, I mean, that's a legitimate fear.
Well, it's a fear with any machine, you know. It's like, all right, well, making good horsepower now is I'm gonna smoke belts. Um,
Yeah, but a smoked belt's a little easier to handle than burning
well, see,
clutches.
and that's what the KRX. You know, it's not just the belt because I have a wet clutch in front of it. So am I going to smoke a wet clutch if I see that 200, 250 horsepower mark? Because from my understanding, the H2 doesn't have a wet clutch in it.
I do believe it does not. Um, I
So it's back to your traditional CVT clutch setup.
Unfortunately, we've been kind of out of it this year. It's been a long year. I mean, I've had life changes in my world. Uh, starting a new career. I mean, that's for anybody who's been wondering. That's why we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I've been I've been working a lot. I haven't really had a whole lot of time for this. We've had weddings and stuff like that personal things that have kind of gotten in the way of the podcast. Um, so it's one of those, like, trying to get back into the swing, normalizing, the current scheduling and everything that we've got. You see, Bruce isn't here. Uh, Talked to him earlier. He's bowed up with work. He said this week he's out on just about everything. Next week he's out on just about everything. It doesn't look like I'm gonna get to do any type of writing until after the first of the year. Like I said, the Talon's currently in surgery. Um, I got a photo today that it started getting tore apart to get some stuff repowder coated and fix a couple things that have been wrong with it that I've kind of been neglecting. It's just been sitting in the shop. Uh, I do have some other news as far as the Talon. It's getting a few upgrades while it's down. Um, but I'm not telling anybody what upgrades yet.
Well, I want to know now. You brought it up. Don't
Yeah,
bring it up
nope,
and not. No,
nope,
don't bring it up and then fucking.
nope,
Oh, I'm not saying nothing.
nope.
Uh, that's a bitch move.
Um, so like it's time for it to go under a little bit of surgery. I've had the machine for, well, I bought it brand new in 22, and so it's pushing 4 years old, and I haven't really done anything other than the suspension and wheels and tires. So it's time to do some other modifications to really take it to the next level.
It's still a Honda Talon.
Whatever. Say what you want.
I will
Yours is
say what I
still a
want.
KRX.
You're right. It is.
Uh, and then let's see what else. What else has been going on? Not, I mean, we haven't really been doing much because we've all been working so much.
Old Brucey got married.
Yeah, Brucey got married. Congratulations to him and Eliza. They
Dumbasses.
you say that, but at the same time, it's about time. We
Well,
were all excited, had a great time up there,
what?
celebrating them, celebrating their weekend and their special day.
Yep. Yep. That was a good time. Long weekend.
It was a long weekend, and I wasn't even there as long as you were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I just kind of took over his yard.
yeah, right, right, right. Local news. Our local park is currently shut down, going through some revamp. So Mud Buddies, if you're looking to go riding at Mud Buddies, make sure to call beforehand. But as of right now, they are shut down, trying to do some revamping and uh,
Uh,
some
looks like
changes.
at least at the beginning of November, because they
Uh,
shut down for the 2 weeks in November anyway for hunting season.
yeah. So we'll see what comes from that. Um, we've got shit. It's this weekend. As a matter of fact, it started today, I do believe, or tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, don't it?
What?
Battle of the Builds.
Tomorrow.
Uh, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, my days run together.
Oh.
Um, at River Run, they've got the Muddin for a Cure. So if well, by the time this comes out, which will be tomorrow
After
the
the
10th.
fact.
No, it'll be uploaded tomorrow the 10th. Um, if you're in the area of River Run or looking for something to do, go check it out. Battle of the Builds. River Run's got their Muddin for a Cure. Um, should be a great show. Big machines. Make sure to go say hi to all the racers out there. I know they love the crowd checking out their machines and giving them high fives and stuff. So,
You want to know what else is going on this weekend?
what else?
What else? Is that River Run too? The Teach 'em Young Bounty series.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I told you I'm out of it. I'm tired. I've been working a lot. Who you staring at?
I can hear Karina talking in the background. I thought she was talking to me,
Oh,
but
um,
she's got to go back to work.
bye. Uh, I know here in a couple weeks, Hot Rod Riot in
Yep.
Victoria, Texas, they are doing a side by side division. If you're in the area of Victoria, Texas, and want to find something to do, that's the 25th, correct?
Yes, the 25th.
Hot Rod Riot, Riverside Park. Um,
To today or tomorrow. I believe today is the last day to register online. You can still register the day of the event.
there you go. Uh,
Um,
with the side by side division, you will see the Honda won't be there, but you'll see us. We'll be there. Um, I don't know exactly what's going on because I've kind of been out of the loop.
so Silverback Garage is sponsoring the basically a show and shine for the side by side division. There'll be trophies. Myself and Alex will be judging. Um,
That's what I was doing. See, I don't even remember what I was doing.
Alex and myself will be judging the side by side division. That being said, Justin, the owner of
I
Silverback Garage, is going to be doing a Silverback favorite. And then he's also doing some
oh, I'm gonna pick them up.
door.
I'm gonna pick them apart.
He's going to be doing some door prizes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm
So,
I'm I'm gonna pick them apart. So if you're gonna bring your machine, make sure it's good to go. I'm gonna be
but
hypercritical, even though mine's not.
I I look at it this way: if it's a nice machine and it's put together well, I'm I'm not going to dock you because you ride your machine.
Oh no, I'm not. That's not what I was getting at. I
So,
was just talking a little smack.
but don't show up with it filthy.
Don't bring that clapped out Honda 4 track.
No, bring the clapped out Honda 4 tracks. I want to see it.
Oh man,
Might need it to fog out the mosquitoes.
right? No lie, right? Knowing our luck, yeah, we're gonna get some rain or something beforehand, and it's gonna be brutal.
Last year was pretty good. Last year was pretty nice. So,
I will see.
um, and I want to say it was right around sometime in October last year too. So,
Um,
it was good fun. So there'll be, I believe there's 3 live bands. There'll be food trucks there. So,
I know I
it'll be
put. I
fun for
think
the whole family.
I know I posted a video on TikTok from last year's, and man, there's some cool cars and trucks that are there.
Hmm.
every year. It's a great little car show. It really is. Other than that, man, well, like as far as stuff around here, ain't a whole lot going on. Let's see. I know Aaron and I were discussing it earlier before we started recording. He mentioned Can-Am came out with a new Defender, the HD11.
Yep. Can-Am Defender HD11. It is a it's a triple. Um,
Yeah,
which
so that's what I was looking at.
I don't
Um,
know. I don't know much about the machine. I've seen photos of the interior. I do like the interior. I'm not a fan of bench seats. But like the dash layout and stuff, and then that uh center display. I don't know if they're doing. I haven't really looked to see if they're doing it with all of the Defenders.
I don't know. It's 10 and a quarter screen. So the new inline, 990 cc inline three HD11 engine, but it's at
Hmm.
it being a workhorse. I mean, we're talking about a Defender here. It's 95 horsepower, 70 foot-pound, or pound feet of torque. Um, I don't know what this P drive is, but they do have a quick four lock and smart lock front diff. I don't know if it's upgraded from the Visco lock. I don't know the difference, unfortunately, as far as that goes. But like Aaron was saying, that screen right in the middle of the dash is it's a 10.25 touchscreen display, which a lot of your higher end units are starting to come out with that touchscreen. I know. Excuse me. The Segway's got a touchscreen in it. The CF Moto's got a touchscreen in it. Polaris in the Ranger, it's got a touchscreen in it. So a lot of them are coming out with that touchscreen. Once again, I'm still a little leery about that stuff just because of the type of writing that we do. Um,
Uh, that's just it. Like everybody seems to be going to that touchscreen stuff. So hell,
yeah,
you can get touchscreen in a damn Massimo
right. Yeah,
nowadays. So
yeah. That T-Boss 525,
yeah,
550.
like touchscreens seem to be Segway. Segway brought it a few years ago. Brought their touchscreen in the Villain, I think is their sport machine. Um,
Hmm.
we have a friend that has the what is that? The Flugelman or whatever they call their.
The U10 or UT10, whatever.
Well, the U10 is CF Moto, but the Segway's UTV, their Ranger clone, it has a touchscreen in it. Um, the CF Moto, all their stuff has touchscreens in it. Like that's the new deal. Everybody wants to be able to do maps and Bluetooth and all that other good stuff. And it displays a few more data points, which I like. Um, but I don't know. I have a digital dash in my machine. You have a digital dash in your machine,
Yep.
Alex. I'm I still like that Polaris does gauges,
Analog. Yeah.
analog
Yeah.
gauges. Like to me, to see RPM gauge and a speedometer gauge, like I like the digital stuff, don't get me wrong, but to see analog gauges, like to me, that's cool.
Ah,
Um,
I mean,
but
there's
that being
something nostalgic about it.
yeah, but that being said too, like I have a tablet holder in my machine so I can have my Spotify and have Onyx off road going so I can mark trails and stuff and track mileage and trails while we're out riding at these bigger parks.
So I just pulled up the spec sheet. I'm looking at the 2026 Defender XT HD11.
Mhm.
So this is the base model HD11. It does come with the 10 and a quarter touchscreen display,
Uh-huh.
including premium steering wheel with controls and rear camera. Package highlights, quick four lock and locking front diff, dynamic power steering, speed limiter, brake holding mechanism, 65-inch wide arched double A-arm sway bar, 29-inch XPS Trail King 2s, 4,500-pound winch with synthetic rope, full heavy-duty HMW plastic skid plate, full hard roof, heavy-duty front bumper, mud guards, LED headlights, and LED taillights with backup lights. Comes with the 95 horsepower, 70 pound-feet Rotax Ace Advanced Combustion Efficiency triple cylinder. That's what they're calling it.
Uh, they
EFI. So the transmission, they're calling it the P Drive Primary and Quick Response System, CVT, with high airflow and electronic drive belt protection. Low, high, neutral, reverse, and park.
well,
Selectable,
to me it just
selectable,
sounds like their normal transmission. They just put another name on it, like they put another name on everything.
right. Selectable turf mode, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive with the quick four lock and auto locking front diff. CVT engine braking, sport, normal, work modes, speed limiter. Suspension, double H arms, or double arched A arm with sway bar, 12 inches of suspension travel.
Yeah,
Um, Nothing special about the shocks.
yeah.
Um,
All right. So here's my deal. It's an updated Defender with some extra bells and whistles. Do I like
mhm.
it over? I like the interior over the previous Defender. Um, I like the HD10. I think it's a good looking machine. Um, I don't care for the front end on the new HD11. To me, it's a copy of a new Ranger.
Right.
The front end at least, like the way the headlights are designed and stuff. Um, if it's the same chassis as the HD10, I think there's a lot of potential.
So looking at this, front tires of the XPS Trail King 2 29 911s, 29 by 9/11 by 14.
Hmm.
And it says the rear tires are the same. So is this a square machine?
No, no, because you just said the fronts are 9 wide and the rears are 11.
No, 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 no. Front tires. I'm looking at the spec sheet. Front tires, XPS Trail King 2, 29 by 9/11 by 14. Rear tires, XPS Trail King 2, 29 by 9/11 by 14. The
Yeah, so
same
it's two.
tires are listed front and back.
Okay, but you can't have two tires with two different. Can't list
I
the
don't,
same tires have two
I,
different widths.
I, I'm not,
One. The, I bet you it's a misprint. I would be willing to bet it's a 9 inch wide tire in the front. It's 11-inch tire wide in the rear, just like the previous model
oh,
difference.
I'm not going to argue with you
So,
because I haven't seen one in person. So
which would mean it's not a square machine. Which,
that's,
whatever.
well, that's why I
Ninety
was
percent
asking.
of 90% of the machines out there aren't square machines. There's only a couple of machines out there that's actually a square machine.
Right,
Um, that being said, it's not the end of the world.
right.
And by the time you do a lift kit or what have you on it anyway, that fixes all that anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, we all run portals and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, and if
hmm,
you buy aftermarket wheels, most of the time you're buying square tires so you can rotate them.
yep. Oh,
So,
so that
but
being said, hold on. That being said, uh, talking to, mention portals just reminded me of something. And we've said it a couple times, just kind of brought it up in passing, but have you noticed? I know I've noticed that, but like on Facebook and stuff like that, which I don't get on very often anymore. Um, I'm seeing a lot more people bring up going back to smaller tires, going back to the smaller machines.
did I not tell you this was going to happen?
Like it just seems like it's more and more
Did I
people are
not tell you
talking.
that?
People
Did I
are
not
talking
tell you?
about it.
Did I not tell you this was going to happen?
I think I seen a post the other day that somebody said, "Ah, man, I wish we could go back to the days where 32s were big."
I I don't want to go back to those days. I don't. I want to see a big machine be on 40s or 42s. That is a big machine, right?
Right,
The norm, the norm should be somewhere between 33 and 35.
right.
That would be your average machine. Because these stock machines now, the H2 comes with 33-inch tires. The Terex mud machine comes with 32-inch tires. The factory tires on all the other KRXs are 31-inch tires.
S-
The Pro XP the Turbo R from Polaris, I believe it comes on 32-inch tires.
So,
Hell, your UTVs, your Rangers and your Defenders, most of them come on 30-inch tires nowadays.
well, I just said the Defenders on 29s. I know the Talon factory is 28s. But without doing anything to the machine, you can throw a 30 under it like it's nothing. Guys are
Most
doing
well now,
most guys are doing if you've got the R because it's a little bit wider and you've got more clearance, a lot of guys are throwing 32s on them bone stock. But what I agree, I don't want to go back to that to where the machines are smaller and whatnot, simply because the type of riding and the locations that we go to, um, it's you have to have a little bit bigger machine simply because the holes have been just eat up. Everything's been eat up.
yeah, but that's just it though. 90% of the 90% of the times we go out where there's a nasty hole, there's a workaround for it.
Right, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm getting at is if you do want to play, you kind of got to be in that 35 up range.
Yes. Um, and to be honest with you, like
Because
the
I'm on 40s and I'm not following a guy on 56s.
no, all right, so speaking of 56s, so we did Bruce's wedding last weekend. We did pictures with we had a bunch of side by sides there for wedding photos and stuff. Bruce's Bruce's KRX is on 42s. Mine are on 40s. Yours is on 40s. There's a
Dylan's on
KRX.
35s,
Dylan's on 35s.
Zach's on 37s.
Aaron brought his Can-Am Commander four-seater,
Hmm.
which is on, I believe it's on 8-inch boxes, and he's on 44-inch tires, right? Made mine and Bruce's and yours look small. There was another KRX there, I believe it was on 50s or 52s, and made our shit look like they were stock machines.
Yeah.
That be, don't get me wrong, machines being that big, that is cool, and they will go through some deep shit. How trailable is that machine?
What
Because,
Darren say? He said it sucks going down the trails. The rideability is you lose it.
you know, even with us on 40s, Bruce on 42s, there's been some trails that we've been down. And it's like, this is a super tight trail.
Yeah.
Or, and, but if no portals, 35-inch tires, you'd go, this is no problem. We can bomb down this trail, no problem.
Yeah.
I think that 68 to 72, hell, 64 is not too terrible, 64 inches wide, but that 68 to 72 inch wide machine, 35, 33 to 35-inch tires, you can do a lot of stuff. It,
That's kind of depending now. Of course, it all depends on, your style of riding if you put boxes or whatever. But if you let's
I'm not even talking putting boxes on. I'm
well
talking about
that's what I'm saying.
either
That
like a 3-inch lift kit and forward arms and get into a 33 or 35-inch. Most of these newer machines, I would say anything that was built from 2020 on can handle a 35-inch tire with stock running gear. Minus you might have to throw some clutch weights or some clutch springs at it.
Well, so
But
that's kind of what I was gonna say was even without doing boxes. So we all know boxes make you wider, they give you gear reduction, and then they make you taller. It's I love my boxes. I'm so glad I have them. Like it really helps my machine out, especially not doing an IGR, internal gear reduction. Um, it, it it just it's better for my machine and the type of riding that I do. The boxes really help me.
oh, don't
I
get me
per,
wrong,
I
I like
prefer
my
it.
portals too.
Now that being said, I know quite a few guys that have Honda Talon R's, like first gen R's, so 19, 20, and they're on 35s, no boxes. And they have an absolute blast because they can still bomb. They can go down just about any trail they want to go down because it's a 68-inch wide machine. Uh, and it's still responsive. Now, do could I tell the difference in between going from a 28 to when I went to 32s? Yes, I could.
Well, you give up some, but I believe there's more benefits to it than there is negativity.
Well,
Because
you can't really
I made the jump from 31s to 35s with no boxes.
right, but
And
what I'm getting at with what I was gonna say was with the Honda, it's probably more prevalent of noticing that difference because of the transmission. You know, it just see it, with the four wheel drive, the I four wheel drive, the way that system is all set up, it just seems like it lugs more
right,
than say your KRX. Your KRX is naturally geared lower, so it was able to handle those tires better.
yeah.
So it's one of those like
I think
you you
I
get
had
you when you buy the machine, you try to understand. You should, at least my opinion, you should try to understand the capabilities of the machine before you ever do anything to it.
right.
Now, I
I think
know there's a
I
lot of people who will buy something and immediately throw everything at it.
right.
So they
Well,
don't know how the machine reacts stock.
and you're gonna have that. I think I had we did what one or two rides with the KRX bone stock. I think that's what I did with it. We did extreme or what it used to be
Extreme.
before
Oh, Twisted River.
Twisted River. So we did Twisted River first, bone stock, and then we did one or two trips out to Mud Buddies on 31-inch tires, and then I made the jump to 33s, and we went to Louisiana
Marble
Mudfest
Falls and Marble Falls
and Marble Falls. I had a blast
on the 33s.
on the 33s. Machine was super capable. I wasn't worried about shearing a ball joint or wasn't worried about braking power or anything like that. Turning radius was phenomenal in the machine, the whole 9 yards. And then I made the jump to 35s, and I liked the 35s too. I didn't care for the tire and wheel package that I picked. I wish I would have, I liked the tire. I wish I would have just went a little bit different way with it.
Yeah.
But I like that setup. And then I made the jump to 6-inch boxes and 42s. Um, then I felt fucking invincible in mud holes. And then
Yeah, but
ended up
trail
fucking,
riding sucked because you were on BKT.
yeah. Trail riding sucked on BKTs. And then, the wheel and tire package that you have on your Talon now, I liked that wheel and tire package. I'm not a big wheel guy. So I went to a similar tire on a smaller wheel, and I love my setup now. It rides super smooth. It's comfortable. I can trail ride. I can hill climb. And that's kind of what I have the machine built for, is to trail ride and not knock my teeth out of my mouth and be miserable at the end of the day, or just don't feel like I've been beat up all day long.
Right. So I absolutely I like those tires. I like the wheels. I like the tires that I'm on now, which were your old tires. What are the XT 370s?
Yeah.
That being said, I can I guess when I got them, I was like, they're not going to be that much different than my ACPs. They are completely different than my
Hmm.
ACPs.
I told you they were different.
Uh, I'm lacking in the mud now than what I was able to do with the ACPs. That being said, the trail capability of these tires over the ACPs, the trail capability is a little better. Not a whole lot to me, but a little bit better.
But it's a give and take.
It's a give and take. They are. I, I will rate them if I was going all right 1 to 10 ACPs for me personally because like you, I'm not a huge tractor tire style person. I've had them, not a huge fan of them. They're great in the mud, but for the type of riding we do, they're just not feasible, really. Because we're probably what, 80% trail, 20% mud, 70/30.
Something like that.
Uh, if we were strictly mud guys, that'd be a completely different story. But we like to trail ride. We like to go to Marble Falls every now and then. So having a more all around tire is more of our style. I really like the ACPs. Those are probably my favorite tire of all time. Those probably rank at like an 8 out of 10 for me. These 370s are more like a 7 out of 10, just because it's less mud than what the ACPs were capable of.
Right.
So, like as far as trailability, to me, there's not a whole lot of difference. The ACPs were super comfortable on the hard pack, super comfortable on the pavement, super comfortable crawling over stuff, rocks, stuff like that. Uh, but just they're more capable in the mud. And if these tires ever wear out by the time I get rid of this machine, which they probably will because I'm not getting rid of this machine anytime soon, I'm probably going to go back to an ACP. I really like the way the tire looks. I like the way the tire it performs. It's just I think the ACP is the best all around tire that I've ever owned. But these
Uh,
370s are right up there with them.
so I like you have more experience with the ACPs. I'm not a fan of how the ACP looks. I would pick. There's a few tires I would pick before an ACP. I'm not taking anything away from the ACPs. I like that they're a 10 ply tire. I think it has its place. I just think it's too hard of a compound.
See, it's comfortable.
Um, the 370s. I think it's a great tire. I really do. I would rank the 370 above the ACPs. Um, I'm on the EFX Moto Ravage XLs, which is it's comparable to the 370s. It's a similar tire. I
I like the
think
sidewall on yours a little better.
I like the sidewall a little better on the EFX tire. The 370's got a softer compound, but the Moto Ravage has a taller lug.
Right.
Um, you know, um, I am a full I'm a big fan of the System 3 tires. Like I've had three different tire designs from them. They all have their place um, for what designs I bought. I've had two sets of EFX tires. And I've been happy with both sets of the EFX tires too. Um, I would have went with a 370 over the EFX tire if I could have got it in a 40 on an 18-inch wheel.
Right. Yeah, well, like you, I've had System threes. I had the 310s and what did I have? 310s and
And the 370s,
the 370s. You've had the
the 300s,
300s
the 400s, and the 370s.
and the 370s.
So I like the 300s. The 300, that's what I had in a 33, and I had that on the Arctic Cat, and I had it on the KRX.
I loved those 310s. The 310s were just like the 300s, just a taller lug.
Just a taller lug. The 300s,
A lot of
the
people like the 400s, but I I just think the spacing's a little too wide.
well the 310s had a wider spacing. The 400s were a softer compound.
Ah, that's what it was.
I didn't like the way they wore on hardpack. Um, is it
Yeah,
felt
they
like
kind
you
of
were
wear like the tractor tires do. They get that slope on the lug,
they get
like
the
a
slope on
twist.
they get the slope on the lug, and if you're on super hard pack or on pavement, it feels like you're driving on ice because the lugs fold over.
Oh yeah, like skating.
Yeah, yeah, you're skating. The 300s, because it was only a half-inch lug, they look like a cut botter. They're great in the sand.
Hmm.
Like that's probably the best tire I've had in the sand. Um, so but tire preference it's a preference. What tire works for you or what your favorite is somebody else is going to have a different opinion about it. So,
Ah,
um,
Bruce absolutely loves his tractor tires.
yes, yeah, but
We've been trying to
Bo,
talk him out of those tractor tires forever.
Bougie has a set of ACPs on it too. So,
Hmm.
it's just tire tires are kind of one of those deal. Everybody's got a different preference. It's kind of like stereo brands.
Yep.
So some people like wet sounds, some people like Rockford Fosgate, some people like kickers,
DS18.
DS18, so on and so forth. So it's just pick your poison. Whatever you think is going to fit your riding style, by all means. There's a lot of great tire manufacturers out there. I'm interested to see the MRT tires. Um, the what is that? Whiskey Biz's branded tire.
Yes.
What is that? Whiskey Runner or whatever the hell it's called
I
from
had the
MRT. I saw the
yeah.
post the other day that he dropped. I looked at him. It's a cool looking tire. Unfortunately, it's only one size right now, with more sizes coming. But
Yeah, it's on my TikTok. We talk about that at OPE.
yeah, well, that's been going on for a while. He finally posted something the other day on Facebook,
Yeah, that they're
um,
available.
that they're actually available because I went and looked at them the other day,
Yeah, the whiskey
on
runner.
Whiskey Runner. That's what it is. Super cool looking tire. Um, I don't have any experience with MRT. Um, So I can't say yay or nay on them. I think they have some cool looking tires. Good looking trail package. I think they also play around with tire compounds. The Whiskey Runner though, like I would be definitely interested to try that tire out.
Well,
Because
buy them.
well, if I get it in a 40-inch tire on an 18-inch wheel, I would probably try it. So but anyway, back to new models, so we talked about Can-Am and the HD11. Polaris has got a couple of new things out for the 2026 lineup. Um, ah, the 2026 Ranger 500.
Ah, yeah.
So,
You mentioned that earlier.
yep.
Um,
I like the smaller UTVs. Polaris had a 400 back in the day. They had a 500. Um, Ranger, they're bringing the 500 back. I'm a fan of the Honda Pioneer 500. I think it's a cool little machine. Even the Pioneer 700. I like the smaller displacement machines. It makes it a little more accessible uh for for the average person to get a UTV and use it for more than just working around the house.
Right.
Let's see. The Polaris is also up their warranty on the Rangers. It's a 2-year warranty now.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So that's new for the 2026 models. So you have the Ranger 1000, that we all know, and then you have the Ranger XP 1000. Um, yeah. So it looks like it's just a wheel tire package, maybe a little bit taller. Um, and then you have the XP 1000 North Star that everybody knows and loves.
Hmm.
Um, I so want HVAC. Hashtag cab gang.
Right.
And then you have the XP, the Ranger Crew XP 1000 Texas Edition. Because we got to be like Chevrolet and Toyota and Ford and have a Texas Edition.
Well, of
Yeah.
course.
Then you have the North Star Texas Edition. And then you also have the North Star Trail Boss.
Hmm.
So, and that to me looks like a different wheel and tire package, winch, all that good stuff. So, Polaris also has a couple of four-wheelers. Come on. Stupid, 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 stupid. Yeah, I should probably use the help center because I'm retarded. Players for their Sportsman 570, 40th year anniversary for the 2026 model year.
Okay.
Has it really been 40 years for the 570?
I don't know about that.
Maybe it's just the Sportsman name.
No, it could be.
Hang on. 40 years of ATVs, that's what it is for
Nah.
Polaris. So anyway, so they're doing a Sportsman 570 40-year anniversary, which is pretty cool. So 85, Polaris introduced the first Polaris ATV introduced the three-wheel scrambler and the four-wheel trail boss. And then 89 got the Polaris 4x6 big boss. And 95 was the Sportsman 500, was the first year of the 500.
Hmm.
So premium 40th anniversary edition for the 570, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Um, and then um, what did I say? Sportsman Mud Machine, right?
Yep.
Hang on, I got to find it. Where's his website sucks.
This is true.
That's a scrambler. There
Dun
we
dun
go.
dun.
Uh, uh, let's see.
You find it?
So not really.
Well, figure it out.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'll watch now. As you're playing on your phone, just keep
I'm
talking,
I'm also trying to look something up, so that's
right? We'll use sportsman models. Here we go. So
so
Scrambler, you got the 1000S, the 850, and then the XP 1000S. And it just looks like it. They're the same damn machine, just different colors.
imagine that.
Special edition. So 2026 has a Sportsman Mud Edition, which you can get in either the 850 or the 1000.
Okay.
So it looks like an OL2 copy tire. I don't remember what brand it was. Pro Armor is the tire brand on it. Radio relocate, snorkels, winch, all that good stuff. So it is a cool fucking color scheme though. I do like the gray and the red.
Okay, so you said it's
What?
gray and red.
Yeah, it looks gray in this. Yes, it's gray and red. So the front on the 850 is all gray with red fenders, and then
Hmm.
the 1000 is red bumper,
I think that's what I'm
red,
looking at.
and then red like around the
Radiator.
radiator and stuff. So they call it
Yeah,
Indy Red Pearl, and then the 850 is Fury Red. They're both cool looking machines. Um, I think the Scrambler, they should have did that to the Scrambler at 55 inches wide instead of 50.
right.
Bye, dear. Love you. Be careful. Um, but who Can-Am was the only one that really offered a mud four-wheeler, correct? With the Renegade and the Outlander?
The XMRs.
Yeah.
They also had it with the Defender and the X3 there for a little while.
Well, no,
I don't know.
I'm just talking four-wheelers.
No, I think this didn't. I thought the Sportsman had their. Yeah. So before the Mud Edition, it was the High Lifter Edition.
Oh, that is right. You're right. You're correct. I was talking
Um,
about that.
and then of course, Arctic Cat did it with that
The Mud
650.
the Mud Pro 700.
Well, that was a while back, but I know we discussed it not too long ago.
And I think you're right. It was a 650.
Yeah, because I think the standout for me on that machine specifically was the snowmobile style handlebars.
Right. Um,
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in it only being a 650 when everybody else is doing 800s up.
yeah, but shit, Kawasaki with the brute force is only a 700.
Yeah, but we're talking Arctic Cat here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're gonna play the game, play the game.
Well, I
And
don't
you
think
notice
Arctic
you don't
Cat
see it. You don't
I don't think
you
Arctic
don't
Cat knows what the hell they're doing. So
you don't well, they're now owned by fucking
Argo,
Argo. But you don't you don't see anybody riding the Arctic Cat Mud Edition or Mud Pro or whatever it's called.
right?
So is it
But that's just it. They had a 1000 four-wheeler.
yeah,
They
at one
had
point in
one.
time. At one point in time.
So I don't get it. Sometimes I
That
doesn't
Mud
get
Pro 700 the Mud Pro 700 was a monster.
I don't get what some of these manufacturers are thinking. It's almost like they don't listen to the consumer, you know.
Well, at the same time, you
Don't
also
get me
have to
wrong, we as consumers don't have a lot of great ideas, but every once in a while one comes along.
well, no, what I was going to get at was as as big as the mud world is, it's still a niche group.
Correct.
Honda doesn't aim towards that world at all, really. Hence the reason the Ranchers and the Rubicons and everything are still smaller bodied four wheelers.
Hmm.
They are aimed at work.
Right.
They're aimed at that guy spraying the fence line. They're aimed at that guy hauling a little trailer doing some fencing, Because I would love to see Honda because the biggest machine they had was the Rincon for the longest time, that 680.
Right.
And it was still a small body. Like I'd put my 680 next to a Honda 5 or a Polaris 500, and the Polaris 500 was bigger body wise.
Right. Right.
So Honda's always been the smaller bodied machine. So like, and that I don't want to say it makes me mad, but it does because I absolutely love Hondas. The reliability is phenomenal in them. I
Yeah, because
mean, there's still guys riding around on 300s that are from the 1980s, early 90s that have just been absolutely beat to hell and they're still going strong.
yeah,
You
and
know?
that's the Honda's biggest four-wheeler right now is the Rubicon and a 700.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying they should take the Talon motor and put it in a four wheeler because let's just face it, that I think that motor's just way too big to be in a four wheeler. But they could easily Honda's got the capability of building an 850 or a 900. I mean, throw the Africa Twin motor in a four wheeler. You know, you've already got it in a motorcycle.
Right.
Throw that into a four wheeler, and do something with that. Make a bigger body four wheeler to compete with these other guys. that are throwing out 1000s, throwing out 850s, you know. That being said, too, I mean, Suzuki, we all
Uh,
know Suzuki makes big four wheelers, but it is aimed 100% at the
work.
Dune guys for the racing four wheelers. And I think the biggest racing four wheeler they make is a 450 or 600.
Shit, I don't.
Um,
I haven't looked at Suzuki in
but
forever.
their King quads and whatnot are, they're aimed at hunters. That's what it's
So
aimed at.
750.
They make a 750 racing four wheeler.
No, 750 King Quad.
Yeah. Okay. I think their biggest racing four wheeler is, I think it's only like a 450 or a 500, to be honest. It
Well,
might be a 600, but I doubt it. Now that
typically, well,
like when I say
typically,
it, it doesn't sound right.
typically your uh your your four wheelers, like for like racing series and stuff goes, they're capped
Mhm.
at certain displacements. So
Yeah. I want to say it's a
um
450.
I don't I'm looking right now. I don't even see a sport offering from Suzuki
I
other
don't know if they make
than
it because I don't look at Suzuki anymore. I don't know if they even make one because they don't
no,
even yeah.
no.
So
It's all utility sports is what they call them.
yeah.
So you have
Uh
the King Quad 400, the King Quad 500, and then the King Quad 750, and then of
and
course
then same
their
thing,
youth stuff.
same thing you look at Yamaha. Yamaha, the what Kodiak's the biggest one, and I think it's a 700 or an 800.
I don't even know with Yamaha either. So it's been so long
And
since I've looked at their stuff.
they got rid of the YXZ. I think they're still running the Wolverine or the Viking.
Yeah, the Wolverine. Yamaha, as far as four wheeler goes, Raptor 700s.
Yep. Okay.
The 450R is their race four wheeler, and then the Grizzly, the Kodiak 700,
Yep.
um, Kodiak 450. I don't know what size the Grizzly is. Is the Grizzly a fucking 700? I would
No,
assume.
no, I think the
Yeah, it's
Grizzly.
just nope. Grizzly's a 700.
Okay, so it's a set. I remember the Raptor and the Grizzly shared the same motor for a long time.
Well, remember it was the 660
Hmm.
and then 700. So Grizzly 700. But I don't
And
know.
so when what I'm getting at though is your big four wheelers now is CF Moto's got a 1000. They go all the way from 400 to a 1000. Polaris goes up to a 1000. Can-Am goes up to a 1000. What's Segway go up to now?
Shit
Uh,
beats the shit out of me. I
I
know
know that
CF
I know that
Modems out of 1,000. So
well that's what I said. CF Moto's at a 1000. Um, Honda doesn't go up that high. Yamaha doesn't go up that high. Suzuki doesn't go up that high. Like you've only got a couple choices for a big body, big displacement four wheeler.
right,
And part of that I know is certain manufacturers have certain niches that they're aiming at. We all know that. We all understand that. And then you have the UTV market. A lot of guys who were on four wheelers got tired of trying to throw around a four wheeler and were like, I just want to cruise. So they got a side by side. They got a
right.
UTV.
Okay, so
And that,
Segway's four wheeler, the Snarler. That's what it's called. That is a
yeah.
horrible. Segway has horrible names for their machines. 500 cc.
Yeah. See? So,
It
like,
it is ugly as sin.
what do you got? So, what do you got? Four that are over 700 cc's? Polaris,
Yeah,
Can Am, CF Moto, and that's it. So, three.
that's it. I so you. here's my deal. So I rode a Renegade, and I rode an Outlander. They're stupid fast.
Yeah.
I've rode the CF Moto 1000. It's stupid fast too.
Hmm.
Um, I have not been on a scrambler yet. I
So,
still think it's the best looking one out of all of them I've seen. But
so
that being said, like I don't think unless you were building a bounty four wheeler
there's really no need
or
for that big of a motor.
no.
Well, so when I say big four wheelers, yes, I do say, I
All
mean the
right,
big
I
motors.
lied. I lied. Segway does have a 1,000 cc four wheeler.
Okay, so there you go. Uh, for me, I'm a bigger guy, right? So when I say I'm looking for a big four wheeler, I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for that big motor, but to get the big body, I need
Yeah,
a big motor, right? So brute force. I've rode brute forces. I've been on brute forces. They're they're bigger bodied. They're not a Outlander. They're not a uh sportsman big body. They're not a CF Moto big body. I like that. Beyond the price point and all that, I like the CF Moto because it is a bigger bodied four wheeler, so I can sit on it comfortably. I go to sit
right.
on a Rubicon, it's uncomfortable. I go to sit on anything under 600 cc's for the most part, it's uncomfortable. It feels small to me. I feel like I'm in a bad riding position. And part of that's because of injuries in the past, stuff like that. So I have to sit a certain way, otherwise, my hips and knees don't like it. And I need that bigger bodied four wheeler. I mean, as much as I loved my Rincon 680, how many times did we go out riding and I was riding it and I stood up most of the time because I couldn't sit down on it for that long? Like it that so when I'm looking like because I have looked at four wheelers, I looked at getting a four wheeler for myself just to play to keep from tearing up the side by side. And I tried looking at some of the smaller four wheelers because I'm like, ooh, a 500's got plenty of power. I can do whatever I want. It's a four wheeler, right? 500's plenty.
Right.
The body of it is just too small.
Yeah.
So then I'm looking at the 1000s or the 850s. Uh, so I don't need that much horsepower, but to get the size I want in the body, I have to go with the bigger motors.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And now everybody, with the four wheelers, guys are wanting to do the same thing they're doing with the side by sides. They're wanting to take them deep. They're wanting to take them through massive mud holes that these side by sides are tearing out. And you need to build them big.
Yeah, to me it just I don't know. Like they some we I've seen a few of the four wheelers like built big on 35s, 37s, what have you. They look cool. The stretched out, all that good stuff. They're cool. It's just not my thing.
Nah, and that's just it. It's really, you notice I don't have one. As much as I like riding four wheelers, I don't have one because let's face it, it's not really my thing.
Right.
We're looking at getting Case in a four wheeler, a bigger four wheeler than what he had, and we've already decided that it's not gonna get built. We're gonna leave it stock. It might get some tires on it just because stock tires suck. Uh, and of course, if I'm doing tires, I might as well do wheels just to make it look a little better. But versus the stock Steelies, other than that, it's not getting anything done to it for the simple fact of it doesn't need it.
Right.
It's gonna be him going riding with us, riding down the trails. It's gonna be going fishing. It's gonna be cruising around doing stuff here at the house. Like it's gonna be a utilitarian four wheeler.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a toy. So, like, I try to tell everybody anytime they ask me questions about what they should buy, and it's like, look, sit down, figure out what you want to do with it versus what you're gonna do with it.
Right.
And if you can go, all right, this is everything I'm gonna do with it. Like that's for sure I'm gonna do this, but I want to be able to do this. Pick your machine from that.
Right. Right.
Don't just pick it because it looks cool. Don't pick it because it's a 1000. Don't pick it because that's what everybody else has. Like really get a machine because how many people have we met that, oh man, I just went and bought this. It's a 1000 turbo, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, I didn't need all that.
Right.
And they paid, two, four, $5,000 more than what they needed to. I mean, you and I started out with on our side by side venture with Arctic Cat 700s, a portion of the price of what everybody else was paying, and we had a hell of a time.
Well, and that's kind of the deal. It's like you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to have a good time.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we had to heavily modify them to get to where we wanted to be, but at the same time, these people are going out and spending 20, 30 grand on a unit and then dropping another 10, 15, building it huge, and then they can't get down the trails. My Talon's been a labor of love, but I've got it built and I'm currently still building it. And I've owned it for going on 4 years.
Right.
I'm slowly building it to exactly what I want.
No, I
And
gotcha. I
I haven't,
understand.
I've never touched the motor. No, there's no programmer on it. There's no clutches. There's no, uh, uh, I mean, I've done exhaust, but that was kind of a necessity after sinking it.
Oh, I gotcha. Believe me, I understand. So
But,
I'm
well, ever,
I'm just at my my fat ass is ready for AC.
oh, well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Hashtag cab gang.
Yes,
Uh,
hashtag cab gang.
uh,
One day I will be in that gang.
right. We're gonna be getting to that gang when everybody else is getting out of it.
Right.
Everybody's
I
gonna be
just,
going back to trucks and jeeps, and we're gonna be like, nope.
to be honest with you, like I wish I miss my Jeep. I really do. I enjoyed my all the years that I ran Jeeps. Um, I wish it was just more prevalent down here.
Yeah, you got to travel. But I
Um,
mean, we travel with the side by sides.
you're right, we do.
But at the
The
same
only
time,
downside with the Jeep, I did a lot of stupid shit in the Jeep.
well, not on the. I was gonna say the other thing too is when you had your Jeep, that was also your daily driver.
Yes,
Side by side. You break your side by side. Not saying you will, but you break your side by side. You can still go to work Monday.
right.
And that was a big thing for me because I could have easily, when I moved down here, I could have easily decided, all right, well, I'm going to do the mud truck thing. And I was running Broncos, and I remember I bought that '81 Chevrolet,
Yeah,
that big lifted Chevrolet. I could have easily stayed with that and decided that's how the route I'm going to go when it comes to mudding and whatnot. But I couldn't do I couldn't have two vehicles. At that point in time in my life, I was not making any type of the money or anything like that. So that was my daily driver. And ultimately it came down to, all right, well, I could just go get a cheap four-wheeler or I could find one to fix up, go have fun at the local park and still be able to go back and forth to work. So to me it just
right,
made more sense getting into the four-wheeler side by side. And we grew up on four-wheelers,
right.
but down
Don't get me
here,
don't get me wrong. I love my side by side. Um, down here with the private parks and stuff, it makes more sense to have a side by side
yep.
for us.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at is yeah, there's plenty of places to go there are a bunch of places you can take trucks. Like we know that, you know. But at the same time, I'm not gonna have a tow pig and a trailer big enough to haul a 3/4 ton pickup that's lifted on big tires when I can have my 3/4 ton pickup that I have and my small trailer and throw a side by side and a 4-wheeler on.
Right.
You know, not taking anything away from anybody who does that, but it just to me, it's I have more fun in the side by sides and stuff like that. I do. 4-wheelers, side by sides. It's to me, it's just more fun.
Oh, I got you. I understand. I just no, I love my KRX. I think it's a great machine, really do. It rides great. It has plenty enough power. Uh, there's still some things I would like to do to the KRX. Uh, you know, they just I'm gonna have to wait. And it's one of those deals to where it's like, all right, I would love to have heat and AC, full enclosed cab. I would like to see it in a sport machine.
Uh, and it probably will one day,
Um,
just not today.
I think that's going to be the next deal. We got what 45 years on HVAC
Hmm.
utility machines.
Roughly
So I think at some point in time we're going to see
a sport machine.
a sport machine with HVAC.
Yep.
Which is
It's gonna happen. I mean,
it's just that's kind of where we're evolving
%.
to be comfortable year round. Um, and that the rock crawling straight axles where it's at. Uh, Independent suspension though, our with as much wheel travel as we can get out of these independent suspension machines nowadays, like they're not far behind. These machines are really, really super capable in the rocks.
Yeah. I mean, I know Third Coast Off Road has been posting videos of that H2.
Well, you mean right coast off road?
Yeah, right Coast Off Road.
But the Slick Rock guys, they've done KRXs, they've done other machines, and rock crawl out in Utah all the time. Um, this the UTV market is such a huge market in the off-road industry now, and I think it is taken enough of a bite out of the off-road market away from Jeeps and other machines or other vehicles
Well, it just
and
depends on where you're at.
it
But
made
yeah,
it more accessible for the average person.
not to say the average person needs to have that access, but yes.
Well, I'm not saying that, but it did make it more accessible. Because like you said earlier, yes, I've done Jeeps, but it was also my daily driver to get back and forth to work.
Yeah.
So it's easier to just, it doesn't make any sense, but it's easier to justify, hey, I have my daily driver to get back and forth to work. I can justify spending 15, $20,000 on a side by side to just take out and ride in the woods or go rock crawl or what have you as a toy versus buying another vehicle to go
Yeah.
beat up out in the woods.
Yeah. You hear those arguments all the time where, especially people who I hear it more from people who really have never done the side by side or 4-wheeler thing. All their off roading is Jeeps and
Mm-hmm.
Broncos and full size trucks, stuff like that. And they're like, well, if you're gonna spend that type of money, just buy a Jeep. And it's like, okay, I I'm not gonna take that away from you, and I'm gonna understand that wholeheartedly. But look at where you're at. a lot of those guys that you hear that from, they're in Moab. They're in
It's BLM
they're in
land.
yeah, they're in places where you can get Jeeps, you can put full-size trucks, and they're not going to private parks that literally at the trailhead says no trucks.
Right.
You have to have a side by side. You have to have a four wheeler.
And that's
Yeah.
and okay, so that's one thing to me, coming from the West Coast where we had access to BLM land just about everywhere,
Hmm.
Arizona, and then the Pacific Northwest, Idaho, Oregon, Washington. Being able to go out and just ride where pretty much wherever the hell you wanted to versus coming down here and seeing sides, no trucks, no cars beyond this point. To me, that blew my mind because these side by sides are bigger than most vehicles. We're
Yeah.
wider, we're running a bigger tire. In all actuality, we make the ruts a hell of a lot deeper with these side by sides than a Jeep would.
Well, I'm not disputing that because I mean anybody who's been to any of these big events, we've all seen that Ranger, a few Rangers on 70s, straight axle. They're essentially a mega truck on a side by side body on a mega truck.
Right,
We've all seen those machines that you park it next to a 1-ton dually and you can't even really see the dually.
right.
But, park rules are park rules.
Well, you're right, and I'm sure there's some other logistics that go into it. It might be something as simple as the type of insurance they have to have.
Yeah. And it could be, that's something of, oh, yeah, this park opened back in the, early 90s or late 80s, early 90s, or even early 2000s when none of these machines were this big, even
Right.
remotely this big. So, and that's just something that's held over is, it is a UTV side by side ATV park only.
Because
A lot of these parks don't allow dirt bikes.
right. And
And a lot of it has to do with the safety aspect of it.
I understand that. But that also being said too, because I had somebody make, I made the comment about, oh well, they don't allow Jeeps or they don't allow Samurais, what have you, rock crawlers, so on and so forth. And it's like, all right. And I don't know what, because I'm not a park owner, I don't know what the insurance looks like or anything. So I don't know if it's an insurance deal. I don't know if it's just the park owners, hey, these are the rules. They've been this way for years, so on and so forth, like you were just saying.
Right.
But I had somebody make the comment, it's, oh, well, a Jeep's heavier than a side by side. By the
Not
time you
much.
put, and that's what I was getting at is by the time you do wheels, tires, portals, so on and so forth, some of these side by sides are 3,000 pounds.
Yep.
I know my KRX is probably pushing 2,500 pounds.
Yeah.
A rigged out rock crawler, it probably weighs about the same amount, if not less.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're essentially Jeeps.
They're
I
the,
mean,
they're the
really.
same. They're the same thing. Hell, that Suzuki Samurai that I used to wheel back in the day on
Oh,
31s.
four
That
of us
that
could
thing,
four of us could pick it up in the ass end.
yeah, that thing might have weighed 2,500 pounds, maybe.
Yeah. I, you're preaching to the choir here. So
So I don't get it. And and I think that's where part of the I don't know how to explain it. Not resistance between the communities, but like Jeep guys are Jeep guys. They think side by sides and four wheelers, the people that do that are fucking horrible.
right.
That being said, on the other side, people that ride four wheelers and side by sides, they think Jeep guys are assholes. I've,
Well,
I've been on both sides. Regardless, I'm an asshole. So
I was just about to say, and you're still an
yeah,
asshole. Uh,
but it's
yeah, I get it.
it's
Like I said,
kind of it kind of
you're preaching to the
divides
choir.
the off-road community is what I'm getting at, you know.
and it shouldn't, because the off-road community is the off-road community. Whether you ride dirt bikes, four-wheelers, side by sides, you're in Jeeps, you're in full-size pickups, you do rock crawling, you do trail riding, you do strictly mud pits, the mega truck thing, anything like that. An off-road community is an off-road community, and no matter what, we should take that upon ourselves and really lean into, hey, this is a common ground that we all share,
Yeah,
and
because
we should take responsibility and ownership of it, you know.
and that's kind of one of the deals, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, is because I know they've been talking about shutting down trails in Moab, so it's affecting the guys in the side by sides, it's affecting the guys in the Jeeps, it's affecting the overland community. Then we also have parks, people wanting to shut down private parks because of us that ride side by sides and like to get wild and so on and so forth, or people getting hurt. And that people get hurt whether you're in a Jeep or a side by side or on a dirt bike or on a four wheeler or even out overlanding. People get hurt. It is a dangerous hobby, regardless of what type of machine you drive or ride.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. You
and unfortunately
what's
we get a bad rap.
what I just I don't want to say just. It was a couple weeks ago. I was reading an article that happened to come across. It was a couple that did the overlanding thing. Like that was their thing. Their thing was to disappear for a month up into the mountains,
Hmm.
hit old logging trails and stuff like that. And they're in a I don't know exactly what they were in, but for argument's sake here, they're in a a Jeep style vehicle, not super high lifted, uh, overlanding. Like they'd go camping and stuff like that.
Right.
They died. They slid off a cliff. Like it is, whether you're going camping or you're going to a mud park, it is dangerous.
Well, the
You're
last.
dealing there is a reason that all these Jeeps, especially I remember my Bronco, my 1983 Bronco had a sticker on the visor that said four-wheel drive vehicles are inherently dangerous. Use caution off-road. Like it is, you're dealing with slopes, you're dealing with loose material that you're driving on. It's not a paved road.
Well, and you've seen it whether you were at a mud park or back in the day when we were wheeling up in Washington. People start to get, they feel like they're invincible. I was like, oh, I can make that, I can make that, I can make that. And then they end up rolling the vehicle over or laying it on its side or what have you. And passenger gets his arm crushed because they had it laying out the window, or didn't have their seat belts on, or what have you. And
Well, and that's what I mean when I say take ownership of it. Is you can't you can't blame a park, or, oh, well, if that tree wasn't there, I wouldn't have done that. Well, guess what? You did it, and you were the one driving, or you were the one who had your arm stuck out the window, or didn't have your seatbelt on. Like, you're choosing to do something that is inherently dangerous and out of the norm.
well, and that's I've had my number of close calls. Well, you remember when I laid the Arctic Cat over on its side? Karina got hurt. She hurt her shoulder.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I felt fucking terrible over that, and it was a complete fucking accident.
I've rolled four wheelers. I've laid dirt bikes down.
Well,
I've rolled
I've done it all
trucks.
too. You know,
Like, I've been in vehicles where I wasn't even the driver and
Me
rolled.
too. Me too.
So like
Um,
it's like I said, it's if you're off road, it is inherently dangerous. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Now, that being said, are there people, and we've all been known to get stupid every now and then. whether it be
Hmm.
off road, on road, off road, at home, out in public, whatever. Everybody's done something stupid at one point in time in their life, at least. Take responsibility and don't try to sit there and blame somebody else.
Right.
Now, if you're a
No,
passenger in the vehicle and somebody's doing donuts and you roll and you get hurt, but you had safety belts on, you had helmets on, you've done everything, it's, yeah, you may not have been the one who rolled the vehicle, but you got in it.
and that's what I was going to say. You were inside the vehicle. You made the decision to get inside the vehicle, and I try my I try my damnedest, especially if Karina's with me, or not even Karina being with me. If I have a passenger, because Kaysen rides with me a lot of times if my wife's not with me. Kaysen is he's my number two passenger.
Right.
And if something was to happen to him, I probably wouldn't even be able to forgive myself.
Well, and that's just it, you know.
But that being said, too, I drive differently when I'm by myself versus me having a passenger. It doesn't matter who the passenger is. I
And
drive
it
completely different and decide whether I'm going to go through an obstacle or over an obstacle depending on who's sitting in the passenger seat.
well, and
But
that's
shit, there's been nights that me and you have been out and you flat out told me, park your machine, you're done driving.
yeah. Well, and but so that's kind of what I was gonna say is I'm the same way. Like I I will put myself in positions. I will put myself in positions that I will not put anybody else. Like an obstacle, for instance, you and me out on the trails, I'm in my machine, you're in your machine, and we'll get out and we'll look at it and go, all right, yeah, I think we can do. We did it at Marble Falls. We did a lot of the Jeep trails that everybody was like, I can't believe you're doing that in a side by side. And we're like, but we're comfortable doing that because we've been off roading our entire lives. And then there was some things that when we pulled up to the trail, we looked at it and went, nope,
Yeah, I there's been times where I've looked at an obstacle and said, I'm not going up that. I'm not
nope,
even going to attempt it.
yeah. So it's take ownership, take responsibility, and make your own decision. But if I've got somebody with me, I'm not going to put that person in a position where I would normally do it myself.
Because hell, I remember we were out in Florence in Arizona in the Jeep. And I want to say Karina and Christopher probably walked at least half that trail because either A, I told them, hey, you need to get out and just watch because I don't know what's going to happen. Or B, Karina was like, I'm not going down that. Like,
Yeah,
I'll meet you at the bottom.
right. Well, I
Um,
mean, they did.
but
Karina,
Karina will be the first one to tell you, it's like, hey, I'm not going through that. I'll take pictures.
yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. She did it. Well, she wasn't the only one who did it. There was a few times when we were at Sabine and River Run that I flat looked at Melissa and I'm like, "Hey, you need to get out. We're going down this rock face, and I don't want you in here with me when we go down. You know." And then how many times have we taken other people's machines down something because they weren't comfortable doing it?
Right.
And yeah, at the time we might be like, ah, you could do it, but we also understand,
Yeah, if you're out of your
hey,
comfort zone, you're out of your comfort
yeah,
zone.
I may sit there and go, oh man, you can do it, but if you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the comfort level. But I'm not gonna if you're in my passenger seat and you say, hey, I'm not comfortable doing that. All right, well, I want to do this, so if you're not comfortable doing it, you want to get out.
Right, right. Yeah, no, and I I've never forced somebody. Well, no, I take that back. I can't say that. I forced Matt, my brother-in-law,
Well,
to be
I was
passenger a few times on some sketchy shit.
I was gonna say you forced me back in the day.
Well, how was you supposed to learn?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that's what co-driving is supposed to be, though.
right? So I,
When you're halfway up a face and you go, "Hey, get out and grab the winch."
you know, I just we get the off-road community gets a bad rap because there is some bad apples, and
Well,
we
not just
see
it's it.
videos all the time.
I was gonna say it's not just the bad apples. It's the only thing that anybody ever hears in the news is the bad.
Correct.
They don't hear about the park cleanups. They don't hear about the trail cleanups. They don't hear about any of the good stuff that goes on with the off road
Yeah,
community.
the Toys for Tots drives that most parks do for the Toys for Tots at the end of the year. They don't
The
the
parades, they don't see the good stuff, or they may see it, but it doesn't click. But they don't hear about it. They only hear the bad stuff.
the bad. And you're absolutely right.
18-year-old rolled four wheeler,
And
and
that's kind of that's really the horrible part about it because there's a lot of great ambassadors in this community,
100%.
and there's a lot of good-hearted, really genuine people in this community that would give you the shirt off their back. And we won't go into naming names because you know as well as I do, we know a bunch of them in this community. Um,
There are people in this community that I would say are some of the best, if not the best people I've ever met. And I don't think I would have met them or met people like that if it
without
wasn't
this,
for, yeah,
yeah,
without this community.
no, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you 110%. And I would, I've met great people in Arizona when I was in the Arizona Virtual Jeep Club. I met great people when I was in the Pacific Northwest Jeep Club up there. I've met great people down here, with between, going to events and different parks and meeting people out on the trail and talking to them. And we we've ended up with some great friendship. Bruce, prime example. That is our brother from another mother.
Yep. And met him through off roading.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just happened to finally meet him face to face at a park one day, just
Yep.
by luck of chance.
Yep.
So, which is
Yeah.
that
And I would say some of my best people that I know right now that I could literally grab my phone and call right now are from the off roading world. That them
these
two,
two right here.
yep, being two of them. A matter of fact, a lot of them are gonna be at River Run this weekend that we're supposed to be at, but we're not. Uh, I could probably pick up the phone right now and call them, and they would pick up.
Oh, absolutely.
They might be a state away or 200 plus miles away, and not really be able to do anything, but they'd probably still pick up.
Oh, absolutely.
I get phone calls from a couple states away, and to bounce ideas off of each other. Hey, I'm working on this, or hey, you've had experience with this. What do you think? You know, and that's another thing that I really like about the off road community is when you
I've
meet
done it.
when
I've called Alan a couple of times,
yep
questions about something.
when you meet these people and you talk to them and create a relationship, it doesn't end that weekend.
Yeah, correct.
It's something you kind of hold on to.
And don't get me wrong, like we've met a lot of great people out on the trail. And it's just been just for the weekend, And I haven't seen them since then. But, still super, super great people. But
Yep.
we've also ran into the few assholes too.
Well, that's true. But I mean, you'll get that anywhere. I mean, I'm sure guys who race dirt track, for instance, they'll say the same thing. to where they've got lifelong friendships and they know people that they could call and they know people that'll give you the shirt off their back and blah 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 blah. And at the same time, but there's also a few assholes.
Right.
You know,
And
it's the same thing in every world and every hobby.
right.
It's just to me the off-road community is the best community because 99% to me are blue collar, everyday, just genuine good people. So,
On that note,
on that note,
I
I
think
got to
that's
get
a
up.
great way to
Yeah.
end this.
Uh, I gotta, I gotta get up early for work, so I gotta be in New Braunfels by 6 a.m. Uh,
Good
yeah,
luck with that.
ain't no big deal. Uh, a couple runs of Flatonia ain't no big deal. Um, well, we want to thank our lifelong sponsors, and lifelong as in lifelong of the podcast, Trashy Inc. Make sure to go check out their merch. I do believe, well, I know for a fact, Cabo raced at the Bounty Course, and
Yeah,
her
the mouth is racing.
the mouth is racing. Um, she got a new machine, so I haven't been able to check it out yet. I've just seen the videos that everybody else has seen on Facebook, but we really want to thank them for being a part of the podcast. That's Trashy Inc. Make sure to go check out their merch online at trashyinc.life, and go buy some shirts and hats. And if you happen to be at the Mud Park, go check out their booth if they're selling merch. Um,
There'll be a river
go
run this weekend.
They'll be at River Run. I'm sure they'll be at River Run this weekend. Um, and go if you see Cabo, tell her that Alex and Aaron said hi. Um, and yeah, and hopefully we'll see, some people out there at Hot Rod Riot on the 25th, and then next year, plan on getting back to some events and some rides. Uh, like I said earlier, we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. There are some things that are going to be, I don't want to say changing with the podcast. It's just life, you know. We were hitting it hard for a while. Um, it's just not panning out the way it was originally anticipated and the way it was originally planned, where we've had to make some adjustments. But we're looking forward to the next episode. So yeah. On that note,
Make it work. Make it work.
yeah, we'll make it work, and we'll still be here. Adios.
Later.